Hello, learners. Today we will learn about the second part of brand management, developing brand elements. Identification of brand elements is done through a series of researches. Most of the companies hire marketing research firms. These firms use human brainstorming sessions and vast computer databases. These brands elements play a number of brand building roles. Brand elements are selected which are easily recognized, recalled, inherently descriptive, and persuasive. Well connected brand elements help marketing communications to build awareness and link brand associations. Associations arising from the likability and appeal of the brand contribute to its brand equity as well. Some of the brand elements. First, we will learn about the brand name under the brand element section. Some of the brand elements which are used effectively are brand name is a very important vehicle for providing the customers with assurance regarding quality and consistency of standard. It can also provide assurance as to the suitability of fashion of the season. Brand name is one of the most powerful sources of identity. Therefore, choice of a brand name calls for serious efforts from the company. Consumers may talk of their Nikes instead of their training shoes, or of a Burberry instead of a raincoat. It should be easy to pronounce, familiar, and meaningful. Strong brand names can be very advantageous when establishing overseas markets. A brand character. Second brand element is the brand character. A brand character or emblem serves to symbolize brand identity through a visual figure or symbol other than the brand name. For example, Lacoste is always associated with a crocodile picture with its brand name, and Puma is associated with the picture of a puma. A brand character plays important functions such as: first, it helps us to identify and recognize the brand. They are particularly useful when marketing to children, since children favor pictures over text. Second, it gives the brand durability, as emblem are permanent sites. It helps to differentiate and personalize the brand. An emblem transfers its personality to the brand. In doing so, it not only enhances brand value but also facilitates the identification process for consumers. Third element is brand logo or symbol. Brand logo help to understand the brand culture and personality, like everybody knows with a smile of Amazon and of Anita Dongre, swoosh of Nike, etc. These symbols and logos help brands to identify with them. When companies change logos, it usually conveys that either they or their brands are about to be transformed. Another significant element of branding is suitable packaging. This is important in image creation, leading to differentiation in the marketplace, which can be achieved very effectively through the use of labeling. Use of only one brand name across the entire organization and its offerings can create a powerful image in the mind of the consumer. In time, use of well established brand names can be stretched to introduce new products into different markets. This policy of brand stretching goes beyond brand extension. When new products are introduced into the same category, use of this approach can increase the survival chances of new products and reduce launch costs. Major brands are now becoming more elastic in the sense that companies are increasingly defining them as a way of life and stretching them into new areas. Spice now uses its name for airlines, music, finance, mobile phones, and cinemas. At a time where many companies are making similar type of products within similar price bands, functionality do not often succeed as a means of differentiation. Therefore, it is essential that companies emphasize the emotional aspect of their brands in the hope that consumers will identify with sets of values that the brand is meant to represent. Even here, however, brands that stress on highly intangible emotional qualities must provide merchandise that is consistent with the brand promise. Designing marketing activities. Appropriate choice of brand elements make a significant contribution to building brand equity, but the primary contribution comes from the product and marketing activities. Besides advertisements, prospective customers come to know about the brand through personal observation, word of mouth, or interaction with the salespersons. Any exposure to the customer about the brand contributes to the brand contact with the customers. This experience can be positive or negative. The company must put effort into managing these experiences besides producing powerful advertisement campaign. These brand contacts play a very important role in building the image of the brand. Marketers create these brand contacts with the help of clubs, consumer communities, trade shows, event marketing, sponsorship, sales promotion schemes, public relations, press releases, and social cause marketing. Marketing through digital media is also popular as it refers to advertising through the digital channels such as search engines, websites, social media, email, and mobile apps. A digital marketing campaign may include one or more components: internet advertising, mobile advertisements, television, SMS, etc. While a social media strategy may include one or more social media platforms like Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, etc. While designing the brand building marketing programs, the marketers emphasize on three important themes. Those are personalization, integration, and internalization. First, first is the personalization as a developing marketing theme. It is about making sure that the target customer receives the brand communication in such a way that it appeals to the personal desires of the customer. The brands do it by understanding the needs of the customers, designing products and services for them, and focusing on communication according to the identified needs and benefits of the products. This way, the customers are able to relate to the brand communication extremely well. Second is integration. Brands are able to communicate an integrated picture to the target customers by being consistent with their brand elements. This helps in building strong brand equity. Third is internalization. It happens at various levels of brand communication. Most importantly, the organizations work on the internal brand communication with its employees. This helps them to create a strong bond about the brand with its employee. This way, the employees are able to live the brand promise during their interaction with the customers. Like sometimes, for example, the Gola Sizzlers, which is open in the market as a fashion food, promises to give 25% at the next dining place. This creates a strong bond between the brand with its consumers as well as the employees. Now, next topic is formulating a branding strategy. Branding strategy formulation involves deciding the nature of new and existing brand elements to be applied to new and existing products. It is especially critical when the company introduces a new product. It has three main choices. First, it can develop new brand elements for the new product. Second, it can use some of its existing brand elements. Third, it can use some of its existing elements along with its new element. The above strategies are used to introduce a new product in such a way that the target customers are able to relate the new product with the brand equity of the existing brands. When the organization uses its existing brand elements on a new product, it is termed as brand extension. When some of the new elements are introduced in addition to the existing brand, it is termed as sub-branding. For example, Fab India introducing fashion accessories without any new element introduced for the product. This is brand extension. When same brand name is used For multiple products, it is termed as family brand. For example, Calvin Klein offers clothing, accessories, skin, and beauty products under the same name. Brand extension can be used to introduce a new product within the same product line or different product line. This way, the company targets to introduce the product to a different customer segment. In a category extension, the parent brand is used to enter different product category from that currently served by the parent brand. A brand line consists of all products, original as well as line and category extensions sold under a particular brand. For example, today NGOs are naming with a logo like logo and the name as a Virasat, back to the roots. It's the NGO who is working for the Panjadaris of Haryana. So they have a tagline Virasat, back to the roots, which define the completely all categories of the product. A brand mix or brand assortment is a set of all brand lines that a particular seller makes available to buyers. Many companies are now introducing branded variants, which are specifically brand lines supplied to specific retailers or distribution channels. They result from the pressure retailers put on manufacturers to provide distinctive offerings. A mobile company may supply its low-end mobiles to mass merchandisers, while limiting its higher-priced items to specialty mobile shops. Apple launched its 10th series in two price ranges with X and X Plus as specifications given to each one of them. Now we will understand points of parity and points of difference in the brands. Once the competitive frame of reference for positioning has been fixed by defining the customer target, market, and nature of competition, marketers can define the appropriate set of difference and similarity in terms of their POD, point of difference, and point of parity. Points of parity are the attributes which are common to some of the brands. Due to these attributes, the customer considers them together while considering a purchase. For example, if one has to go for buying casual wear, the brands which arise in a customer mind are Shoppers Stop, Lifestyle, Pantaloons, etc. The features shared by these retail brands in common are retail departmental stores offering wide variety of fashion brands of clothing. Next is the points of difference. Are the attributes which make a brand stand out amongst other competing retail brands. For example, Zara is a fast fashion brand. First Citizen loyalty scheme in Shoppers Stop, etc. It creates strong, favorable, and unique association as point of difference is a real challenge, but essential in terms of competitive brand positioning. Competitive points of parity are associations designed to counter competitors' point of difference. If a brand can offer higher value addition in those areas where the competitors are trying to find an advantage, then it is said to be at competitive position. For example, in shoe market, there are varied brands for the shoes like Nike, Adidas, Woodland, and Skechers. But the Skechers plays a point of difference among the competitors. It provides different footwears for the people, which gives higher satisfaction to the customers, as well as it helps to aid foot from rest, giving rest to the foot while walking or extra walking, and it is comfortable to the foot after walking miles. While determining point of difference, two important points to be considered are that consumers find the point of difference desirable and the company has the capabilities to deliver on the point of difference. There are three key consumer desirability criteria for point of differences. First is relevant. Target consumers must find the point of difference personally relevant and important. Like, for the example, consumers pay higher than the Nike and Adidas to the Skechers brand because it gives rest to the foot while walking miles by the consumers. Second, distinct. The offered value must be distinguishable and superior for the customer. When entering a category where there are established brands, the challenge is to find a viable basis for differentiation. Believable. The customer must find the superior value of the brand believable. A brand must offer a compelling reason for choosing it over other options. Parallel to the above mentioned points, there are three key deliverability criteria also, which are: first is feasible. The firm must be able to actually create the point of difference. The product design and marketing offering must support the desired association. Communicable. The point of difference must be communicated in such a way that the consumers do not have any apprehension about believing on it. Third, sustainable. Sustainability is largely depend on internal commitment and use of resources as well as external market forces effectively and consistently. It is generally easier for market leaders such as Gillette, Intel, and Microsoft, whose positioning is based in part or demonstrable product performance, to sustain their positioning than for market leaders such as Gucci, Prada, and Armani, whose positioning is based on fashion. brand portfolios, set of all brands and brand lines a particular firm offers for sale to buyers in a particular category. Different brands may be designed and marketed to appeal to different market segments. A brand portfolio must be judged by its ability to maximize brand equity. The optional brand portfolio is one where each brand maximizes equity in combination with all other brands in the portfolio. In designing the optimal brand portfolio, marketers generally need to make a choice between market coverage and other considerations with cost and profitability. If profits can be increased by dropping brands, a portfolio is too big. If profits can be increased by adding brands, a portfolio is not big enough. In general, the basic principles in designing a brand portfolio is to maximize market coverage so that no potential customers are being ignored. Each brand should be clearly differentiated and appealing to a sizable marketing segment to justify its marketing and production cost. Brand portfolios need to be carefully monitored over time to identify weak brands and kill unprofitable ones. The role of a merchandiser in branding. The retail brand management process involves the creation and reinforcement of branded shopping experience. Branding and experience require a skillful and integrated marketing approach, blending a communication, service, and location strategy to complement the product offered. This statement highlights contribution of these interrelated components of a retail strategy, focusing on the product range and exploring the linkage as the core role of a merchandiser. When a retail merchandiser is reviewing the choice within a product category, the individual roles that are played by the different brands or product variations are considered very closely. Some products within a category are traffic builders, generating high sales and having large market share. They draw customers into the store and their absence would risk customer loss. Other products, such as own label goods, have roles that are clearly concerned with achieving sales or profit objectives. Some stock keeping units, SKUs, create excitement or play a key role in the reinforcement of the retail brand image. The right mix of these products is important to maintain for creating brand image. Each member of the category should be making an individual contribution to the performance of the category. In this process, the merchandiser has to ask and find solution to the following questions. Which brand could be deleted so that the sale successfully transfers to another more profitable brand? Does the category generate enough excitement for the shoppers? If the category is showing growth pattern, can interest be increased and sales within the whole category further improved by offerings more variations of excitement generating products? Factors influencing success of a brand and its position. The first is the market dominance. It is the brand's ability to influence its market and be dominant force with a strong market share such that it can set price points, command distribution, and resist competitive invasions. A brand that leads market or market sector is more stable and valuable property. Communication support. It is the amount and consistency of marketing and communication activity. Those brand names that have received consistent investment and focused support must be regarded as more valuable than those that have not. While the amount spent in supporting a brand is important, the quality of this support is equally significant. Next is identity. A registered trademark is a statutory monopoly in a name, device, or in a combination of these two. The strength and breadth of the brand's protection is critical in assessing its worth. Longevity, its ability of brand to survive for the longer period of time. Geographical presence, it is the presence across the geographical and cultural borders. Relevant, it is ongoing direction and ability of a brand to remain contemporary and relevant to the consumers. Thank you.